Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day so far. So today's video is going to be my August favorites and fails, but I hope that August was amazing for you guys. I am so excited for the fact that fall is right around the corner. I love fall makeup and I just love fall in general, so I cannot wait. But I hope that you guys have a great start to your fall season, whether you're going back to school or you're just excited for fall like me. So let's jump into it. I have a lot of products to talk about and I don't want to take up too much more time talking in the intro. Okay, so my first favorite is the new ColourPop No Filter Concealer. I love this product and I've been using it the entire month. I meant to mention it in a previous video, but I feel like I haven't talked about it yet and I don't know why, because it's honestly been my favorite product of the entire month. I haven't been excited about a lot of new ColourPop releases. I feel like they're constantly coming out with new products, so it's kind of hard to get excited about all of them because every single time I turn around they have a new release. Anyways, I was really excited about their new concealers just because they looked really promising and it's kind of like their first complexion product in terms of like concealer and foundation. So I grabbed 3 of them. I grabbed the 3 lightest shades because I wasn't sure which one was going to match me really well. That's the only trouble with buying online. It's really hard to get like the correct shade. So I went back and forth for a while and I just grabbed 3 of them because I think they retail for $6. So my 2 favorites are number 5 Fair and number 10 Fair Neutral. Those are the 2 that match me the best. I feel like 15 actually matches my skin tone perfectly, but it doesn't really brighten up the under eyes, which is usually what I go for. So I like both of these. 5 is a little bit more yellow toned and 10 is definitely more neutral. So it just kind of depends on whatever makeup look I'm going for that day or what foundation I'm using. But the formula is so beautiful. It has really nice coverage. I would say that it's like a medium to full coverage concealer. You can definitely build it up without it looking cakey, and it's just very smooth. It kind of blurs the under eyes, which is perfect for me. I really struggle with under eye creasing because I do have under eye wrinkles, and I feel like when I wear this concealer, some of you guys leave me comments saying my under eyes are looking really good because you know that I struggle with concealer creasing on me. So I am a fan of the formula. It's very soft, very smooth. I don't find that it really creases on me horribly, but I do set all of my under eye concealers with the Urban Decay Velvetizer, and I feel like no matter what concealer I use, that one really kind of locks it into place. I feel like it's a little bit more moisturizing than a typical concealer that I would go for because I have really oily skin, but at the same time, it just makes your skin look really healthy and beautiful, and I've been a big fan of it. I am planning on doing a full review when I compare it to other affordable concealers, which should be coming soon, so stay tuned for that video. I just had to mention it in this one because I've been wearing it every single day. So along with the No Filter Concealer, I have been loving their stippling brush so much that I actually went and purchased a second one just so I always have it on hand if I wash my other one and it's drying, or I just need a second one because I can't find the other one. This has been my go-to brush for blending out my under eye concealers. So I'll use it with the ColourPop concealer or whatever concealer I'm using that day, and it just gives you the most beautiful, flawless airbrushed finish. I definitely think it works perfectly with the ColourPop concealer, so if you are grabbing that, I would absolutely recommend grabbing this one as well. I like the brushes. I think they're great quality. I think if you were to buy the entire set, it's a little bit expensive unless it's still available for the discounted price, but I definitely think that this one is the one worth having in the collection. It honestly just makes my whole under eye area look really airbrushed and beautiful and flawless and seamless, and it's weird because I didn't really know that I needed a good under eye concealer brush until I tried this one, and now if I can't find it, I get so mad because it just does such a good job. I think I talked about this product briefly on Snapchat, but I've been reaching for the Smashbox Studio Skin Shaping Foundation a lot lately, and it's hard for me to reach for other foundations because I love the Urban Decay All Nighter, and I've recently been mixing it with the Tarte Amazonian Clay Foundation for just a little bit more of a natural finish, which is weird because they're both full coverage foundations, but I feel like when I mix them together, they give me a little bit more of like a dewy finish rather than a completely matte finish. Honestly, I just love the coverage that those foundations give, but I have been reaching for something a little bit more lightweight, and whenever fall rolls around, I love the Hourglass Vanish Seamless Stick Foundation. I always have a hard time saying that. That is like my favorite foundation for fall and winter because it gives me beautiful coverage, but I feel like it breaks down pretty quickly on my oily skin. So I have the shade 0.5, which I think is the lightest shade. It's a little bit light for me, but I feel like it works because I usually go in with a little bit of a darker powder, so it kind of evens itself out. This foundation is interesting. So one side is the foundation stick, and you just apply it under your skin, and then the other side is actually a cream contour. So if you guys are new to my channel, you might not know this, but I really just don't prefer cream contours, cream highlights, cream blushes. I'm a big fan of powders. My skin's really oily, so I feel like powders just stay in place a little bit better. This cream contour kind of has me changing my mind. It looks so natural and beautiful on the skin. And honestly, like I've been kind of skipping my full coverage foundations in and I reach for this instead because it gives me more of a natural look. And I feel like in person, all of that like heavy full coverage makeup just looks really cakey, and this one makes your skin look really luminous and beautiful and natural. And the contoured side just kind of gives you that natural shadow without being, you know, too obvious like you have a stripe of powder on your cheeks. So I really like this foundation. It's been my go-to. My only complaint is that I'm going through it really quickly. I've already used up probably about like half of the stick foundation. I don't know if you guys can tell, but you don't get a ton of product in here because it is dual-ended. So I feel like I'll go through the foundation a lot more quickly than I'll go through the cream contour because I don't use the cream contour every single time I use the foundation. So that is the only downside. I don't know how much this is off the top of my head, but I feel like you have to be careful because if you're going to repurchase it, I mean, I'll go through this so much more quickly than I'll go through like my Urban Decay all-nighter. My next favorite is from NYX Cosmetics. I actually have a few NYX favorites, so let me talk about those. But the first one is the No Filter Finishing Powder. I have the shade 02 Porcelain. I love this powder. It looks so beautiful on the skin, and it is the absolute perfect finishing powder. It just makes your skin look really flawless, really matte, and really beautiful, but it doesn't look dry on the skin. I feel like sometimes mattifying powders can look a little bit dry, a little heavy, a little cakey. This one makes your skin look like skin, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So I'll actually apply this two different ways. If I want a little bit more coverage, I'll go in with a damp beauty sponge. I've been loving the Real Technique sponge, and I'll just take it and apply it right on top of a liquid foundation, and it gives you a little bit of extra coverage. I mean, it's not a powder foundation, so it doesn't provide a ton of coverage, but it kind of helps to lock your liquid foundation into place, and it just gives you a really gorgeous finish. Or if I want more of, you know, a light coverage finish, but still a really beautiful, flawless finish, I'll just take a fluffy brush and apply it all over my face. And it leaves you with a gorgeous, just matte, you know, I've said finish like 10 times, but it gives you a matte finish. It just looks really beautiful, and it helps your bronzer, your contour, your blush, your highlight to blend really beautifully on top. So if you're just looking for like that last step in your foundation routine, this might be a great option for you. If you're looking for like a full coverage powder foundation, this isn't ideal, but I feel like it looks really beautiful on top of your foundation, whatever you're wearing that day. So NYX has totally been one of my favorite brands lately. I feel like their products are such high quality, and I've just been loving them so much. So I talked about these two products in a recent video. If you guys want to hear about some of my new favorites at the drugstore, I'll link that video in the description box below. One of the products that I talked about is the NYX Cosmetics Multi-Finish Shadow Palette, and this one is the Warm Rust Palette. So it comes with 12 different shadows. They have a couple of different palettes available. They have a smoky palette, a colorful palette, and then one that kind of looks like this, but it's a little bit brighter. That one is the Sugar Rush palette. But this one is definitely my favorite just because it's full of colors that I wear. The only row that I kind of neglect is this coral row, but I have created a really bright coral eye a few times. So I love this because it comes with 3 different finishes. So you get a matte row, a shimmer row, and a glittery row. I'm wearing it on my eyes today. I'm wearing these brown shadows and then also this one right here. And I just love the formula of these shadows. They're definitely on par with higher end eyeshadows. They're better than a lot of my high-end shadows because they're very blendable, very smooth and pigmented, but you don't get a lot of fallout. They're just so easy to work with. So this has kind of been like my go-to palette when I want an easy eyeshadow look because you can just go in with one row for a really easy monochromatic look, or you can mix and match them. So if you haven't tried this, I definitely recommend it. I think the formula is so good. I think $18 is a little bit expensive for a more affordable brand, but honestly, the quality's there. So I definitely recommend grabbing it. My last favorite from NYX Cosmetics is their new eyeliners. So these are their That's the Point liners. They just came out with a bunch of them. Depending on, you know, what you're looking for, they're going to have something that works for you. All of them look a little bit different. I got this one because it was the smallest one they offered, and I really struggle with winged liner. After all these years, I just can't get it right. Every single time I go to do it, I mess up. But I really like how it looks, so I keep trying. And this one has actually made it a little bit easier for me because it is so small. I feel like I can go a little bit slower and I feel like I can get the precise application that I want. So I just go little by little until I get the wing that I want, and I feel like it's made a difference for me. I also like this because it's very, very pigmented. The second I touch my eye with this liner, I get a really intense black line, which I feel like can be a little bit dangerous if you struggle with winged liner, but because the point is so small, it just really gives you like a nice controlled application. So I have been a big fan of this one. I just wanted to quickly touch on it. I have talked about it on my channel, but I have to reiterate the fact that it's been my favorite. So a ton of you guys asked me for an update on my lash serum because I do mention that I use one from time to time whenever I'm talking about mascara or, you know, false lashes. I'll just kind of comment on my lashes randomly in a video. So a ton of you guys have been asking me for an update, and I do use the GrandeLASH eyelash serum, which I've talked about in previous videos, but I haven't really done like a full update video. I've been using it since, was it April I started? I didn't use it for like the entire month of May, so I've been using it consistently for June, July, and August. So I thought I would include a before and after because a lot of you guys wanted an update after I used the entire tube of it, and it's pretty much all the way gone. I have a second one that I'm about to start, you know, within the next week or two, but it has made such a difference. Like, just look at the before and after. I'm using the exact same mascara, the exact same application method, and my lashes are so much longer, so much thicker that it's honestly crazy to me. So it really does work. Now, the only downside is that if you stop using it, your lashes will go back to normal. It says that on the website, so it's not, you know, new news, but if I were to finish this up and then quit using it, my lashes would go back to normal. So you do have to use it consistently, and it is a little bit expensive as like an initial investment, but honestly, it's so much more affordable than like consistent lash extension. It is available at Sephora and it's cruelty free, which is great. So it's really easily accessible, and I definitely recommend it. It doesn't irritate my eyes at all, and it works on my top lashes and on my bottom lashes. And I mean, my before and after photo is like complete proof that it works. So I recommend trying it out for yourself. I think that you'll really like it. My next favorite is from e.l.f. Cosmetics. It is their Best Friend Eyeshadow Duo in Peach Squad. I think the formula is so beautiful. It's extremely blendable, very pigmented, very smooth, and easy to work with. I wish they would come out with like an entire eyeshadow palette of this formula because it is so good. So I really enjoy the formula, and then these two colors work really well together. The peach shade is really beautiful in the crease or as a transition color, and then I'll go in with the gold and place it all over the lid. It's so easy to work with, and if I just want like a good go-to easy everyday eyeshadow look, I reach for this because it's so easy to use. I did just film a video on a bunch of e.l.f. favorites and fails, so I'll link that one in the description box below if you guys want to check it out, because I recently tried out a ton of their new products and I liked a lot of them, I didn't like a lot of them, so I'll link that video below if you guys are interested. Okay, I just have two more favorites to share with you guys. They are both tools. So the first one is the Real Techniques Beauty Sponge. I don't know the official name of this, but I will link it in the description box below. I just used mine today. I should have washed it before I filmed this video, but you guys, you know, whatever. I love this sponge for applying powder all over the face. I am a big fan of the Beauty Blender. I love the Beauty Blender Pro. Unfortunately, I mentioned that my dog, my little pug, actually got a hold of it and ripped it up. So I haven't repurchased it because they're expensive and I'm a little bit cheap when it comes to purchasing beauty blenders for some reason. I just have a hard time spending that amount of money on a sponge when there are drugstore alternatives. So I went into my collection and found this one. Well, I actually had a different one, but that one got ripped up too. So this one was a repurchase, but it was a little bit easier to spend the money on this sponge than the Beauty Blender. And I love it. It's so soft and I feel like it just applies powder beautifully onto the skin. It's a little bit larger, so I feel like it just works a little bit more quickly. And I've also been using it to set my under eye concealer with the Urban Decay Velvetizer. I just like the texture of this sponge. I don't know if I would like it for foundation because it is so soft that I feel like it might soak up a lot of the foundation. But if I'm using it to apply powder to my skin, it just makes the skin look so beautiful. It melts the powder into the skin even better than the Beauty Blender, and I just can't get enough of it. I'm so glad I rediscovered this sponge. I love how it's shaped too, because you do get the point for applying product right up underneath the eyes. It's rounded perfectly for applying powder to the rest of your face, and then it has that nice flat edge so that when I do my contour and I go in to clean it up, I can just take a little bit of powder and get a really precise application. So I just love this product so much, and I love that it's so affordable. affordable. Real Techniques is one of my favorite brands. And my last favorite is the EcoTools Full Powder Brush. I love this for applying my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. It honestly just gives me such a beautiful, airbrushed, seamless, flawless finish. And sometimes when I go in with bronzer, you can kind of see that stripe of bronzer on my cheeks, and probably part of it is due to my blending skills, part of it's due to the brush. When I use this brush, I don't get that at all. It looks really beautiful, really glowy. It just adds a little bit of warmth to my skin without looking like I, went in with the bronzer. It's shaped perfectly, and the bristles aren't too fluffy, but also not too dense. So I honestly just love how it applies product. I like it for also applying my finishing powder, and sometimes I'm so mad because I'll go in and apply like my bronzer the day before, and then I'll go to use it the next day to apply finishing powder, but I already used it for bronzer, and sometimes I'll just use it anyways. So I kind of need a second one on hand because it has so many uses, and it's just one of my go-to brushes. I've been using it every single day, so I definitely recommend checking this one out. I haven't tried a ton of EcoTools products, so if you guys have any recommendations, please let me know in the comments below. Okay guys, that is the end of my video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you guys have a great month of September. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any of my new videos, because I have a lot of fun videos planned for the month of September and the rest of the year really. But I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.